Hello my friends and welcome to this video today. This is part 3, the final part of my 3-part series about landscape photography on the island of Gran Canaria. If you happen to stumble across this video, thank you for tuning in. But without further ado, let's get started. I show you a quick intro now and then we are good to go. So stay tuned and let's go. So good morning from the next location. We went to the Barranca de las Vacas, something like that it's called. It's like a canyon structure. It looks a little, on the pictures it looks a little bit like this famous canyons in Utah, I believe, in the United States. I will show you a picture of that one. However, this one is a little bit smaller obviously, but yeah, it looks more or less identical to that one in Utah, and I want to see what we can do there now. Never been there obviously, so maybe it's disappointing, but we will have to see. Landscape is pretty nice here actually. It's like this, obviously volcanic island. So yeah, just take a look around here and see what we can do here. So stay tuned and let's go. So the hike from the parking lot down to the canyon was pretty straightforward. It took me only around 20 minutes. But there was one part of the hike down where you had to climb above some rocks, which honestly wasn't too crazy. I'm pretty unsporty and it wasn't a big deal for me. However, I saw some elderly people struggle there. You could imagine that. So yeah, keep that in mind if you want to visit this place sometime in the future. So I just went into the canyon. It was actually pretty nice, and yeah, there were a lot of people obviously because it's a touristy location here, so that is to be expected. However, I think I got some nice shots where there are not that much people in the shot, so that's pretty cool. So we are just driving around in the mountains in the heart of the island here. We want to go to the highest point now of the island, which is called the Pico de Nieves, I believe. And yeah, we just found this beautiful view here over the island. Just took a few pictures. Pretty nice, pretty cool. The weather isn't so great. It's a little bit overcast here in the middle of the island. On the beach it's actually quite sunny, but not here. But a few clouds in the background makes for a nice image, so that is not such a big problem. So as I just said, it was pretty overcasted today, so we decided to head on because normally we would approach the time of the day where the sunlight is super harsh because the sun is so high up in the sky. However, because of the clouds, which acted basically like a giant softbox, the light was okay, so we decided to head on and spend the day in the mountains of this island. And pretty soon we arrived at the Pico de las Nieves, which is presumably the highest point of the island. I don't really know, I googled it a few times, and yeah, basically there were a few different places that were mentioned that should be the highest point of the island, but I believe this is it. You can see in the distance the Rocco Nublo, which we visited a few days ago, this time not during sunset. However, the view was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed the view so much. And yeah, we stayed up a little bit there, and it was pretty touristy. There was a parking lot basically right at the top. It was just a quick climb up a few stairs and a few rocks, which took me around 2 minutes. So yeah, nothing too special there. Then we decided to head on to another spot, and this spot was only around a 5-minute drive away from the Pico de las Nieves. However, there were basically no other people there, which was pretty cool. And yeah, I don't know if that is really an official tourist place, tourist location, because yeah, there was this kind of radar military base, but we didn't go inside there, obviously, for obvious reasons. But we explored the area around it a little bit and found some pretty cool spots, honestly, with no people there, which was great. So here we are. Basically, I went to another peak now, just visited the Pico de las Nieves, which is one of the highest points. And yeah, I think the weather is actually quite good for photographing landscape. It is a little bit overcasted. However, I think that's not a big problem because these clouds gives a kind of separation between the layers. If you're photographing, for example, mountain ridges and you have like 3 mountain ridges behind each other, you get a sense of depth with these clouds. So that's actually pretty cool. And as you can see, the view is amazing. It looks great. So yeah, just taking a look around here and see what we can do, and hopefully it's going to be great. And after that, the day already started to come to an end again. And this is when we decided to head down for the dunes one more time, because the weather had improved significantly, or at least the clouds were almost gone on the coast. So we hoped for a nice, beautiful sunset, and yeah, we certainly got it. But what you can see in the video is that there is kind of change in the video quality, because that was the time when my iPhone storage was nearly full, so I couldn't film in ProRes log anymore. And at this point I want to explain a little bit more about how I film my videos, because when I film with my iPhone, I try to use ProRes log as often as I can, because the video quality is just insane for a smartphone at least. So yeah, but the file sizes of these log files are insanely huge. So yeah, this was the time, as I said, that my storage was full, so I tried to capture most as I can, but the most videos that you can see right now are not filmed in ProRes. And if you pay close attention, I try to fake this like CinemaScope by cropping the picture a little bit to have a wide angle format video. So yeah, you can see the differences in my videos when I film with ProRes or Sony S-Log or DJI D-Log with my drone sometimes. So yeah, that is basically the difference that you can see in the video, and I hope you can see a difference in video quality as well. So, and that brings our short trip to the Canary Islands already to an end. I'm now headed for the airport, and then I will give you a debrief as always when I am back at home. So yeah, stay tuned. And shortly after arriving at the airport and clearing the security checks, our airplane for the ride down to Hanover already arrived, and yeah, the way home was pretty straightforward. I filmed a few scenes from the flight because we flew through an absolutely beautiful sunset, and yeah, no matter how often I fly, I cannot get enough of the views. If you're inside an airplane looking out, seeing the world from above, which is absolutely beautiful. However, if you want to resume to the commentary section of the video, I will put a timestamp on now so you can skip the part where I filmed the flight. So yeah, see you in a few seconds, I hope so. So, and this brings our little trip to the Canary Islands already to an end again, and honestly I think it was quite successful. I've visited a lot of places I've never been to before, and a few of them actually turned out to be absolutely stunning. And some of you, especially if you are from Europe and you are into landscape photography and you know the Canary Islands, you might ask yourself, why did this guy travel to Gran Canaria and not one of the other islands there? Because there are islands that are way more important, if you want to call it like this, for landscape photography. For example, you have the island of Tenerife, which is the island next to Gran Canaria. I talked about that in episode number 2, where you have this Teide volcano and the Teide National Park, and we've seen this volcano from the distance, actually, as I said in episode number 2. And it is absolutely beautiful there. And yeah, to be honest, there are two main answers to this question. Answer number 1 is that I obviously have budget restrictions when it comes to these trips, because there are not really holidays, because, you know, it's really hard to find someone to get up at 5 a.m. and take pictures of mountains and yeah, go away all day long, didn't enjoy the amenities of a hotel, for example, and always be outside and try to find nice locations. On the other hand, it's obviously not a business trip because, you know, I pay on my own for that. I didn't get any money from that, obviously. So yeah, this is always why you have to look at the price. And in this case, the price for the flight, for example, was super cheap. It was like 100 euros both ways, which is, yeah, actually quite a good deal. Because, you know, the airport I'm going from, my hometown airport of Hanover in Germany, it has a few holiday carriers, quite a few holiday carriers, honestly, but it's not so cheap if you compare to other airports in Germany that have, for example, like the super low-cost carriers like Ryanair. So yeah, this is why I opted for Gran Canaria this time. Maybe I find some cheap flights in the future to the island of Tenerife, for example. But yeah, we will have to see. The other reason is that you can still find, I think, pretty beautiful places, even if the places are not so famous. For example, the Rocco Nublo viewpoint I've visited in episode 2. It was absolutely beautiful there. I've visited the spot during sunset and yeah, it was just amazing. Feel free to check out the video, obviously. And yeah, that is another reason why I think it sometimes can be quite exciting to go to places that are not super famous. Yeah, and I didn't want to talk too much now. As I said, I think it was quite successful. If you've watched this video so far, thank you so much for doing so. And I hope I see you again in one of my other videos. I have plenty of other videos about photography, about landscape photography in particular, over on my channel. Feel free to check them out. I've also linked a few of them up here. But for now, I wish you a great day, a great week, and goodbye.